Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're talking about becoming financially free buying rental property. So let's get right into it. So in order to become financially free with rental properties, the first thing you're going to want to learn about is something called the BRRRR Method or the BRRRR strategy. So what that means is this is where you buy a property, you rehab the property, you rent it out, you refinance it, and then you repeat the process. So what does all that translate to? So when it comes to buying specifically, let's start there. And the first thing you want to do is look for a property that is closer to a shack more so than something that you'd see on HGTV. Now, why is that important? Well, when it comes to buying rental properties and getting something to work under the BRRRR method, you really need to find something that you can add value to. So value add is one component that allows the BRRRR strategy to work effectively. Now, what does that mean? So if you guys look for a property and it's on the MLS or it looks like something that you see on HGTV, it's all finished, it's all done, then there's no equity to be made and there's no real value you can add to the property because all the value is already completed. So when it comes to the BRRRR strategy, what you're looking to do is find properties where you can add the value. And the way that you add value is by fixing it up. So if you have an old, outdated kitchen, most people that walk into that house are gonna be like, oh, this kitchen's really old, I don't like it. They'll walk out, they don't want to buy it. But if you walk into that property and you see an old, outdated kitchen, you fix up that kitchen for, let's say, $10,000, but you've increased the value $20,000, $30,000. Well, this is how you add value into the property. And these are the sort of properties that you're looking for specifically if you're looking to do the BRRRR method. So if you want to do really well in real estate and you want to become financially free by buying rentals, these are exactly the kind of properties you need to go after. So the first thing you want to do when you're looking at these BRRRR strategy properties is you want to find something typically that's off market. The reason why we want to look off market is because when you find stuff that's on market, usually there's a realtor involved. And when a realtor is involved, what they're going to try to do is get the most amount of money they can get for their client. Obviously, because that's in their client's best interest, and it's also in the realtor's best interest because everyone wants to make the most amount of money possible. But if you find a property and you buy it directly from a homeowner, and let's say the roof is caving in, the kitchen is really old, like a lot of the houses that I buy, things that you know have been abandoned for a long time, nobody's living there, and it's basically just becoming one of those eyesores of the street. Now, we drive by these properties all the time. I'm sure all of you have seen something. You see a house that's boarded up, you see the grass is overgrown. Clearly, there's nobody living in this property, and it's just sitting there. Now, a lot of times when you buy these properties, they come with a number of challenges. But as a real estate investor, you need to accept those challenges because this is how you make money. This is how we make money. And the reason why we want to do that is because we can find properties that are at a discount and we can increase the value, take all the hair that's all over them and cut it down so that we can now fix it up and make it something that's rentable. We've now increased the amount of value that we put into the property, and it's going to help us when it comes to our cash flow, and it's going to help us if we would decide we're going to sell it, a number of things. So the first thing I always tell people, look for those off-market properties. And the way we look for off-market properties, we have cold calling, we have door knocking, we have flyers that you can send out to homeowners. But essentially what we're doing is we're looking for these off-market properties. And then once we have acquired one, these are going to be the steps that you're now going to follow to get the thing up and running so that you can turn it into a rental. So that's our buy portion. Next, we want to look to see what we can do to rehab it. So we bought a property. When we finally get it under contract and we go through the closing process and we see it, we need to do a new roof and we need to update the electrical and the kitchen's bad and the bathroom is old, etc., etc. We've now identified our property and we've purchased it. The next step is to actually rehab it. Now, the way in which we rehab these properties is we're going to try to conserve as much money possible because something that I mention about all the time in this channel is that people say the word or the words, I might as well, right? Like, I might as well do the floors, I might as well do this, I might as well do this. And all of these I might as wells have a ticket dollar value attached to them. And we really want to try to limit that. And the way that we're going to limit that is we're going to be identifying our budget. And we're going to stick really tight to that budget so that when we renovate it, again, we're maximizing the back end so that when we rent it or we refinance it or what we decide to do with it, we have more money in our pocket. So the first thing you want to do is come up with a budget for all the things that you're going to do in this house. Let's go to the kitchen. Start at the kitchen. All right, we need to do a new countertop. What are the conditions of the cabinets? Can they be saved? If they can be saved, what is it that you can do to them to fix them up and make them look presentable? In this house that I'm currently in right now, this is an example of a house in which I took the existing cabinetry, cleaned them up really nice, I sanded them down, I sprayed them all a nice dark color. After I finished spraying them a nice dark color, I put a nice brass handle on it so I can elevate the look of it without the really high price tag I would have if I would have put brand new cabinets in here. But with the new cabinet, refinishing the counters, the new handles, put a new sink in, I updated the shelves, I instantly made this kitchen go from looking like a really drab, old, outdated kitchen to something that's very new and modern. Perfect for a rental property. I also updated the backsplash, and instead of putting in stone, I put something that's really simple and renter friendly, which is a peel and stick tile. Now, I've never done peel and stick tile, and I've always been one of the biggest advocates against peel and stick, but because this is a rental and I know that it's going to get abused, what I do really like about the peel and stick is that even if it does get messed up, just peel it off and put a new piece on. Now, if you decide that you're going to put a stone or a nice tile instead as your backsplash, no problem, because it's fairly inexpensive and you're not really going to spend a lot. Maybe you'll spend $1,000 to do it. And if you do yourself, you'll probably save even more so. But regardless, again, it's a rental. And the most important thing to realize is that you just want something that looks cohesive. It has a strong design sense and that it looks really good so that when somebody comes in to see the place and they want to rent it out, they're like, wow, I really like the way this thing looks. So that's the most important aspect as far as the kitchen goes. Then when it comes to your appliances, you really want to make sure that you get appliances that are secondhand. Again, we're not really looking for brand new appliances for the simple fact that it's going to be incredibly expensive when it comes to our budget. If you are somebody and you have the money allocated to doing brand new appliances, no problem. I will never say don't buy them. I will only argue against getting them because I think when it comes to rentals, they're going to get beat up. They're going to get dings and dents all over them. And I think on the secondhand market, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, you can find all of these at a major, major discount. I'll give you guys some examples. I got this dishwasher at BrandsMart. It was in their scratch and dent section. It was $250. Brand new. It just has some dings and dents to it, but it's on the side. You don't really notice it so much, but I don't have to pay the high price tag of a brand new, perfect, pristine dishwasher that I would have had I not bought what I did there. Now, microwave, I did buy that brand new because it was pretty inexpensive. It was only about $200. And then when it comes to the stove, I got that for about $250. And then the fridge was here already in the house, but more than likely I will be updating that as well. So in total, I'll probably be spending about $1,000 or less than $1,000 for all of my appliances. That right there is a home run. So in total, this kitchen, once it's all said and done, completed, I'll be looking at spending about $3,000, maybe a little bit less than that. That's a really good number considering your average kitchen renovation is going to cost you at minimum $10,000. So that $3,000 I spent in this kitchen probably equated to my kitchen value going from worth next to nothing to about $15,000. That's a nice little spread there. Now, if every area of your house, all the rooms, the bedroom, the bathroom, you can find ways that you can take very little and expand it and make a lot with it, this is how you can really add a lot of value into your property. Go through your bathroom and do the same thing. Refinish your bathroom tile, find ways, maybe you redo the floor, put in a new vanity, maybe paint the walls inside of it, put in a new toilet. Again, you want the presentation for somebody to walk in and be like, wow, this is really nice in here. Again, it's a rental, so we're not trying to go crazy, right? Everyone thinks that when it comes to buying properties, we want to make it like our dream home. We're not doing that. We're trying to turn these properties into a way for us to become financially free. You're not going to become financially free if you take all of your money and you dump it into something trying to make a perfect product. It's not going to happen anyway. And it's not going to stay perfect even if you did create one, because when renters go in there, you guys are going to see over time that they just start to get a little bit beat up. So now that we've identified all the things, we bought the property, we rehabbed it. Next, we want to get that thing rented. So what we're going to do is we're now going to market it, whether it's through a realtor, we're going to go on Airbnb, we're going to go on Furnish Finder, through a number of different sites. But the goal is to get that rented for as long as possible for the most money possible. I find that Furnish Finder, where I put the sofa in, I got the plants, and I put everything in there, the house looks really nice. I can get a nice seasonal rental for about 2 or 3 months and then turn it over into the next renter. Now, once I complete that process, what I want to do is I want to find a lender who's willing to refinance. So for some of you, let's say you don't go the Furnish Finder route, you go the very standard traditional route of a 1-year rental. Nothing wrong with that. The goal is, again, really small mortgage, Now you've fixed up the house, you've rehabbed it, and now you're going to refinance it. That's where the lender comes in. So if you got a 1-year tenant, the lender is going to say to you, okay, do you have the property rented out? Okay, you do, great. We're going to be willing to give you 75% of the new value that you've created. So you bought it for 100, you spent 25 fixing it up. So now you're all into it for 125, but now that property is worth 250. So that $125,000 profit margin or equity margin, the new lender is going to now look at that and say like, okay, you put a lot of money into it, and they're going to give you a 75% loan to value based on the new value that you've created. So let's do some simple math. So first we have 250,000. That's what the house that you did that is now valued at, because again, we bought it for 100. We put 125 into it, but now it's valued at 250 because all the other houses in the neighborhood that look like yours are worth about 250. They're going to give you 75%. So let's multiply that times 75% or 0.75. We get 187,500. Now, the first thing that's going to happen, the first loan that you had is going to get paid off. The first loan is for 100,000. Now, mind you, I'm doing some basic math here. You're going to put money down. You're not really going to get a loan for 100% financing unless you're just a baller like that. So, but I'm just going to say this just to keep things really simple for the video. So you got a loan for 100,000. So we subtract that from the 187 because that first lender's got to get paid off. Now we're at 177.5. And you got to pay yourself back or the other lender that you got the 25,000 from to fix up the house. So let's take off the 25,000. Now we're at $152,500. That is going to be a check that you get in your hand that you can now go and do some more real estate with. What I love about this method is that it is a really simple way for you to take all of the equity that you've put into the property or that you've essentially created, get some money from it, get a renter in to pay the new mortgage, right? And then go do more real estate with that check. So if you think about it, right, we bought the property, we rehabbed it, we've rented it out, we've now refinanced it to get somebody else, and that check for 150, that's where we go and repeat the process. And hopefully, if you continue to buy correctly, you can use that money over and over again. Put the money down, fix up a shack worth a little bit, take the cash out, get a new renter, buy another one. BRRRR strategy: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Okay guys, if you guys enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, be sure to continue to watch this channel and subscribe for more content just like this. And if you haven't already, be sure to like this video. And until next time, I'll catch you next video.